Hello guys and girls, how's it going? Screezel here and I hope you're all well, and you join me today for some naval action. Yeah, I know, I can hear the groaning between all of you, I understand. It's terrible, but look, I have to cover it. It's something I do cover, unfortunately. Don't know why I chose to cover it. Maybe I'm a masochist. It's the same reason I do the login bonuses, I guess. Anyway, big news today. Japan is no longer in closed beta access. So everybody can now play Japan. They're in open beta. Like everything else in Naval. Open beta. Which is basically, there's really nothing else as an open beta. We're just launching the game like this. Which is great news. Yay. As imbalanced and terrible as some of the votes are, they've decided that this is fine. Everything's going to be fine. Now, Japan has a big issue with some of their ships because of one major thing, and that's the thing of like a AP shell on many of their ships, although it makes little sense as Japan did use quite a few AP rounds in their naval units. As you can see, the bigger the ships, we do start getting the AP rounds though, and that's where it starts, getting up. But you need to get to those big cruisers. A lot of the destroyers are just simple HE rounds, and this causes a lot of problems because you can't really take on the American cruisers or destroyers because of their armor armor placement. And before I go on, forgive me for one moment, I am not very well at the moment, so I may be rambling a little bit. I know, weird, me rambling, never. So the balance isn't really there because when you're playing Japanese destroyers and cruisers, sometimes you really do struggle. Especially lacking, as you do, the AP round for a fair bit, and the HE rounds are relatively good, but they do struggle sometimes. The dispersion is sometimes off on the guns. There are still so many issues with the Japanese ships. Anyway, enough talking about all the issues. Let's take out one of the best Japanese boats you're going to get if you're looking to grind the Japanese tech tree. What I would recommend is just do whatever the hell you want here. But the main thing you need to do is get to the CH8 and CH2. So we want to unlock this Type 5 straight away, then go down this line. As soon as you get the CH2, you're in for a good time. The AB tie is terrible. The AB tie serial is terrible. The T38 is not bad. You got okay torpedoes. The Karotai Type 2 is, it's not great. The Seitai Model 1 is not great. Mainly because they have the tank cannons on them, which means they have a very slow firing gun, and it's a really big issue for a lot of the Japanese ships. The Type 5, for instance, has a 75mm cannon on it, and it does struggle a lot with that. So you will find that basically grinding out these sort of fast attack boats and these two are your best way forwards. Of course, once you get to rank 2, you're obviously going to have to grind out all of these ships. Luckily, I think it's only 2 ships you need to get to the next rank, so you only need the T51B and the number 13 Type 1944, which again is not terrible, but they're not great in all respects. The Chikuga ship is very expensive. You're basically not worth grinding out, in all honesty. You're going to get slaughtered by most destroyers. The amount of research points is ludicrous, and this is still an issue in the naval system. Still a very big problem. Anyway, we're going to take... Oh, and also remember you don't have FP in parts when you start out, because, yay, we don't want players to have fun. So anyway, let's go out to a realistic battle. Let's see how long this takes, because we might be here for some time. Now, what I could do is cut this bit and, skip ahead. But what I'm going to do is actually sit here and talk to you, because being that there is the release of naval forces and Japanese forces in open beta now, means that players can actually jump in. Okay, it wasn't too bad a way, in all honesty. Sometimes that will help breed a slightly bigger playing base, but generally naval is dead, and you're only going to get between about 10 to 20 players at most times, which is dire, really. It is absolutely dire. So now, first of all, we're going to take out the CH2-3. A very, very powerful boat, and we're going to switch to the armor piercing high explosive shells, because armor piercing is godly, And let's go out. Now, whenever you're using these ships, don't use depth charges. Sorry, excuse me. The main reason that depth charges are absolutely bloody useless. It looks like we're in a down tier here, so there's 4 of us each team, so 8 players, and then a lot of bots. Huzzah! So we're going to be going towards the A cap, and really, depending on what they've got on their team, we could be absolutely godly here. The main thing about this boat is it's not fast, but it is very long, so you have a lot of crew members on board. You have a very good gun on the front. The 40mm gun on the front, similar to Bofors, is very fast firing, and when you've got the APHE in there, very useful. Armor-piercing high explosive shell and an armor-piercing, just an HE fragmentation shell. But generally you're going to set fires with this gun. Now at long range you're going to struggle a little bit, because getting your eye on the ball at long range does struggle a bit with these fast firing autocannons. So you're not going to be able to shoot ships way off in the distance. And you've also got to be a bit wary of torpedoes, because obviously when you're a big target like this, a slightly slow moving target, if somebody gets to your flanks, they will be able to torpedo you without too much trouble. Generally your best bet is going front. If you bow tank everything, you're going to be somewhat okay. Got a LS coming in there. Might get some shots on the target, relatively close. There we go, we get the hit direct front, and that's that target destroyed. This is the thing about this gun, is it's just going to annihilate anything it comes close to, especially when you're fighting tiny reserve boats and smallish classes of ships. They have nothing to stop you, really. It's all about fire rate in naval forces. It's all about the gunfire rate. How many guns you have, and how many sort of guns you can put on target. The speed of the guns and the caliber of the guns. If you've got a fast firing gun, you are going to be absolutely monstrous. You can see a few boats hiding over the yonder. Right there. Get some shots on target again. Now the reason CH8 is quite good is because it has this fast firing 40mm gun, as I say. What you'll get next, however, is much more impressive. You'll get dual 40mm guns. Yes, you heard me right, dual 40mm guns. From the front deck. Your ship is also much lower with the CH8. It's a much lower ship, so it's harder to attack. It has better guns, and it's got less area to hit. It is an absolute beast of a thing, and it just really it's so overpowered, it's ridiculous. And they're both the same BR of 2.3, so yeah, that works perfectly, I'm sure. But to somebody's head, Gaijin, congratulations, you make no sense. So the CH class of ships are basically the best you can take out in naval forces, because, as I say, they are just ridiculously strong. If you're looking to grind those Japanese boats, take these out, get these first, and you'll have an easy grind relatively easy grind to get everything you want. Not that there is much to want in the Japanese naval forces tree, in all honesty. There are those fantastic cruisers, some nice destroyers, but everything does suffer from power creep quite a bit. Over here, LS there.
Our victory is here.
No, that's dead already. And just keeping our eyes around on everything. Something over there, apparently. Let's see what it is. Can't see what it is yet. Just a patrol boat by the looks of things. Calibers on board. Can't really see. The American patrol boat though. I think it is. I can see it might be the Japanese variant. Now we've also got some 25mm guns on board as well. So not only have we got this fantastic set of 40mm guns on with us, we've also got some 20mm some 25mm guns on board as well. And they're very useful for attacking, well, attacking most things in all honesty. They will really rip apart things, especially aircraft. They are both centre mounted, so you can only fire one at a time, but they're relatively good for taking out planes, so they are useful. They also provide you some automatic fire as well, so you've always got something to rely on if you do have some troubles. Start turning a little bit here because we're in some shallowish water. The ship has a relatively low draft, so it's not too bad in shallows, which is quite nice. But it is very slow, as I said, so you do have to be a bit careful of torpedoes. And I've got a couple of patrol boats coming across here, including one of the low-tier Japanese, I think it's the Japanese reserve patrol boat just there. So if we can get some hits on that thing with our main gun, we'll absolutely tear it to shreds. But we have to be careful of those torpedoes. Getting into torpedo range at the moment. There's some shots coming in on us. Relative not working at the moment. And we can get these shots on target. We should take the boat out relatively quickly. Another patrol boat coming in, German patrol boat, and that's down already. You can see how quickly these guns just rip apart things. They just absolutely tear apart things. The APHE shell as well is just extremely deadly. AP is always the best round to go for in naval, because it will just tear through everything and nothing stands a chance. We've got a plane coming in, so we mark up with our AA gunners. Keep an eye on it.
We've captured most of the strategic zones.
See what it is now. It's a Stuka, possibly. Yep, it's definitely a Stuka. So we've got to be careful of that because that is a strong plane. A very dangerous plane as well because, of course, it has that big bomb load. It has that big payload on board. Hopefully our AI gunners will do something here. We've jammed our main gun, but we're in trouble right now. And it takes us out. So we did manage to take it down, but unfortunately a little bit too late. So let's take out the CH-82 now. So the CH-82, again, similar sort of thing on this thing. It is just absolutely monstrous. We'll go down to A because A is being capped at the moment. So this one, as you'll see, is much lower in profile. So as you can see, lower in profile. You've also got twin 25mm guns, well sorry, 3 25mm guns in your ship. So you can perform a full broadside with your 25mm. But the most important thing is the twin 40mm autocannons on the front of this ship. Yeah, this thing is a monster. And if it gets close to anything, it will just absolutely decimate them. There is not much that can withstand the firepower of a fully operational CH-8. We've got a Japanese plane coming in. I've got the name of it now. I've got the name of it. It's completely useless. But that's from the airport. Another Japanese reserve boat, or low tier boat, just in front of us. So we'll get some shots off. And you can see the amount of firepower we're laying down right now. And we get a massive hit on that guy, and I'm not sure if I actually killed him. And the Japanese, that's really frustrating. The Japanese fighter bomber is up, and we've also got a second one coming in. Some shots with our 40mm. We'll get out of practice with those in the honesty.
Most of the strategic zones are captured.
Our AI gunner's got a good hit there. So D3A1, that's it. So you can see the 25mm just ripping this, just everything apart right now. And This ship is just monstrous for that. It's not the best AA at this tier, but it is damn near one of the best. It is very strong. And that's pretty much it, really. So yeah, if you're getting Japanese Petri, I would recommend getting the CH8s, because they're just absolutely monstrous. That was a pretty bad game, in all honesty. So 3 kills, 3 assists, with 1 death. You can have much better games with this boat, for sure. But it will easily grind up the ships that you need for the remainder of the unlocking process. And it's also a relatively fun boat to play. It is still very much point-and-click adventure mode, but at least it has some firepower, and at least it makes you feel pretty strong when you're actually using it. Now, for modifications, I'd always recommend going down the auxiliary and primary armament research tree, as well as getting the AP shells as quick as possible. They're both extremely handy. Smoke screens are also quite useful. Another thing that the CH get are these high explosive distance diffuse shells, and they look like flechettes. So not yet used them, but they only have 15mm of penetration, so I think they'd be better just for general air purpose. They obviously have an explosive filler and a time fuse on them, so they're quite useful for air targets, but generally you've got enough firepower to usually take out a plane if it's getting close to you, so not absolutely needed. Generally a smoke screen is useful. Smoke screens are generally handy to have, and then usually sort of dry docking and rudder repairs, things like that, just to get you a little bit quicker in the water is always handy. So sort of go down those lines quite quickly. For the actual crew skills, stuff like that, generally with crew skills you want to go to gunners, and you want to get the AA gunner accuracy up. If you get that up, it's going to make your life so much easier because you don't need to do anything. Also, fire prevention is handy. Ship commander, of course, leadership is always useful because it will add something to everything. But generally, I'd recommend going towards engine room for the fire prevention, damage control, so you can actually fix things quicker, and then AA gunner, sort of just getting that up quite high as quick as you can, and you'll generally find that will serve you pretty well for it. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Good luck with the Japanese naval forces if you do plan on playing them. Good luck on naval forces as well if you plan on playing it. It's a bit of a dire situation at the moment, but who knows, maybe they'll turn it around. Until next time, this is me, Screezilla, out. Bye-bye.